The story opens with a 17-year-old boy. Everyone calls him Big Mike. Since childhood, he's grown up in foster care because no one knows where his father is, and his mother struggles with a drug addiction, making her unable to care for him. But no matter where he's placed, Big Mike never stays long. He always ends up running away. One day, the father of Big Mike's friend takes his son and Big Mike to a public school called Wingate Christian School. The dad knows the school's coach and asks him to admit the boys, but the coach says it's not his decision.
I'm not involved with admissions.
The dad insists they're both great at sports and takes the coach to watch them play basketball.
Now the little one, that's Steven, and the big one,
Big Mike.
The moment the coach sees Big Mike's massive frame and how he moves on the court, he's stunned. The kid's only 17, yet built like a pro athlete.
Mother of God.
Impressed, the coach takes his case to the school board, but they refuse at first because of Big Mike's low grades.
Well, he wouldn't be able to play sports until he got his grades up anyway.
Forget sports. Look at the wall. Christian. We either take that seriously or we paint over it.
You don't admit Michael Oher because of sports.
You admit him because it's the right thing to do.
Still, the coach convinces them, and Big Mike is admitted.
Class, this is Mike Oher, and he's new here, so I expect you all to make him feel welcome. Mike, just take any empty seat.
Even so, he rarely speaks, lost in his own thoughts, and no one really tries to talk to him either. In class, he leaves test papers completely blank. One day, during a girls' volleyball game, Big Mike sits and watches quietly, and after everyone leaves, he starts picking up the leftover food. With his huge build, he's always hungry, but he has no money to buy meals and no home where he can get a full plate of food. And here, Big Mike had been sleeping on his friend's couch, but the friend's mom didn't like him staying there, so the next morning he left. At school, for the first time, another kid talked to him.
I'm Sean, but everyone calls me SJ.
SJ was friendly and warm toward Big Mike, but soon his mom honked from the car, calling him over.
Who is that, SJ?
Big Mike?
That evening, SJ, his mom Leigh, and his dad were driving home when they spotted Big Mike shivering in the cold. Ann's husband recognized him from the day he saw Big Mike collecting leftover food after the volleyball game.
Hey, Big Mike, where you headed?
Jim.
Go ahead.
After hearing that, they drove on, but Ann started thinking. She told her husband to turn the car around, went up to Mike, and explained that the school gym closes at night.
Big Mike, why were you going to the gym?
Because it's warm.
Do you have any place to stay tonight?
She told him to get in the car and brought him home. Ann had a daughter named Collins who also went to the same school as Mike. She told Mike he'd have to sleep on the couch because the guest house was full of her work samples. Ann was an interior designer.
Sleep tight, honey.
But she quietly told her husband she wasn't sure about this boy, even wondering if he might steal something. Her husband said they'd know by morning. The next day, Leanne came downstairs to find the couch neatly arranged, the blanket folded, and Mike gone. She stepped outside and saw him near the garden.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Since it was Thanksgiving, Ann invited him to spend the holiday with them, and Mike agreed. Later, when everyone grabbed breakfast and went to eat in front of the TV, Mike sat alone at the dining table. Watching from a distance, Ann realized how much loneliness he carried. She turned off the TV and told her family they would all eat at the table together. Everyone joined Mike, they said grace, and then they shared the meal as a family.
After dinner, Ann takes Big Mike aside, telling her she wants to know more about him, but he stays silent. She asks if there's anything important she should know.
I don't like to be called Big Mike.
Okay. From now on, to me, you're Michael. Okay?
Later, Michael and Ann visits his mother's place to take some clothes, but outside, some creepy men start staring at Ann.
Don't get out the car.
And then he walks alone to his mother's house and finds a court notice. She's been evicted for not paying rent for months. With nowhere else to go, he gets back into Ann's car. She takes him to a store that sells large-sized clothes and tells him to pick something out. At first he refuses, but at her insistence, he chooses a few outfits. The next day, for the first time, Michael walks into school with SJ wearing proper clothes. That night, as he's about to sleep on the couch,
Do you want to stay here, Michael?
I don't want to go anyplace else.
She agrees and decides to arrange a room for him. The next day at school, she learns that Michael's grades are low in every subject, except one, where he scored an impressive 98, protective instinct. That night, Ann gives Michael his own room, telling him he'll live there now.
Never had one before.
What, a room to yourself?
A bed.
You have one now.
She wishes him good night, heads to her own room, and sits quietly, realizing she had no idea just how hard Michael's life had been. From this point on, Michael's life begins to change. He starts focusing on his studies, listening to his teachers, and his grades steadily improve. To celebrate, Anne takes the whole family out for dinner, with Michael now very much a part of the family. As they leave the restaurant, they notice Michael hugging one of the waiters. On the drive home, Anne asks how he knows that man.
He's my brother.
Well, we'd really like to meet him someday.
I don't know where he stays.
When she asks when he last saw him,
I was little, maybe.
this shocked Anne. She never imagined that two brothers could live in the same city for years without contact. Helping Michael starts to change Anne as well. For the first time in her life, she feels a deep, genuine happiness, a sense that she's done something truly good. When it's time to take their Christmas card photo, they invite Michael into the frame because he's now family. But soon, whispers spread in their community.
Y'all know there's a colored boy in your Christmas card?
Some of Leanne's friends mock her, saying she looked tiny standing next to Michael in the picture, and even questioning how she could let a black teenage boy live under the same roof as her daughter.
Shame on you.
Angered, Anne tells them they should be ashamed, then walks away. At home, she asks her daughter if Michael's presence ever makes her uncomfortable. Colin says that while people at school do talk, it doesn't bother her. They could never kick Michael out. That's when the family decides they're going to make it official and adopt Michael. So Anne goes to the government office to find out the process for adopting a child. She's told that if she wants to adopt Michael, she'll need his parents' signatures. But Michael's father died in an accident, and his mother is deep into drugs with multiple charges against her. Since Michael hasn't lived with her since he was 7, her signature isn't required. Michael can sign for himself. Still, Anne, being the kind of woman she is, decides to visit Michael's mother. She explains that she wants to adopt Michael. At first, his mother doesn't respond warmly, but as they talk, she understands Anne's intentions and gives her best wishes for her son. From that moment, Michael officially becomes part of their family. They even buy him a vehicle, something he'd always wanted, a small pickup truck. Michael is overjoyed. But one day, when Anne comes home from work, SJ tells her that he and Michael want to go to a game. She says she has a meeting and can't go, but SJ insists that Michael can drive. So Michael and SJ head out, but on the way, they get into a car accident. When Anne arrives at the scene, she sees that SJ is hurt, but not badly, thanks to the airbags. She's told that for kids his age, airbags often cause serious injuries, sometimes even breaking their necks. But SJ was lucky. Then she checks on Michael, who is physically fine, but overwhelmed with guilt. She tells him it wasn't his fault, but Michael apologizes anyway. When she notices his hands are injured, she asks what happened, and Michael explains that when the airbags deployed, he blocked them with his hands to shield SJ, which is why SJ escaped with only minor injuries. Some days later, Michael had been practicing American football at school for a while, but in games, he wasn't performing at his best. He was incredibly strong. No one in the school had a build like his, yet he always seemed to hold back as if afraid of hurting someone. When Anne noticed this, she walked over to him and reminded him of something he'd once said. "Remember the first time we went to your mom's house? What did I tell you?" Michael replied, "I said I'd protect you." He'd said that because the neighborhood around that wasn't safe. She then asked, "And what did you do when the airbags went off in the car?" Michael said, "I stopped them with my hands." Leanne looked him in the eye and said, "This team is your family. You need to protect them the same way you protect your own family." Then she walked away. When practice started again, Michael played differently, sharper, tougher, and fearless, shocking the coach. The coach asked Anne what she'd told him, and she simply said he needed to know his players better. After all, Michael had scored 98% in protective instinct. From there, Michael's performance only improved. In an important game, his team started off poorly, but then Michael dominated. At one point, he even drove the opposing team's best player completely off the field, earning his team huge points. His unstoppable performance led them to victory. SJ recorded the whole game and turned it into a highlight reel, sending it to multiple coaches. When they saw Michael's skills, they were blown away. Soon, coaches from different schools started visiting their home, eager to recruit him. Instead of Michael, it was SJ who handled the conversations, telling the coaches, "Michael and I are really close. If he goes away to play, how will I see him?" The coaches assured him he could come to any game, anytime, which made SJ thrilled. Michael went on to play with different teams, becoming more and more famous.
Meanwhile, his tutor at home was giving him special attention, and his grades improved significantly. Michael's life had now completely changed. Every college in the country wants Michael on their team, but he decides to commit to the University of Mississippi because Anne graduated from there and was a cheerleader, and her husband Sean also graduated from there, where he played basketball. Now Michael wants to follow in their footsteps, join Mississippi, and play football for the Rebels. He works hard, earns the grades he needs, and gets accepted. But then, an NCAA investigator calls him in for questioning. The NCAA is an organization that monitors college athletes, and she asks him, "Why did you choose Mississippi?" Michael doesn't have an answer. She's trying to manipulate him, saying, "You're a homeless kid taken in by a family who fed you, paid school tuition, hired a private tutor, gave you a car, and later adopted you." She suggests maybe it was all part of a plan, that they saw his athletic potential from the start, and maybe others were in on it too. Michael, who is trusting by nature, is completely confused and starts believing it. Angry and hurt, he storms out. Outside, Anne is waiting, but Michael demands, "Why did you do all this for me? Why take me in, educate me, make me a better person, just so I do what you wanted and play for the college you wanted?" Anne tries to explain it's not true, but Michael walks away. He goes to his biological mother's place, but she's not there. Instead, a street gang leader invites him in, offers him a beer, which Michael refuses, and then starts talking trash about Leigh Ann and her daughter. Michael steps up, telling him to shut his mouth. The gangster, dangerous and armed, pulls out a gun and threatens to shoot Michael first and then visit his new mom and daughter. Michael snaps, beats the guy badly, and then snaps to his gang and beat them all. But then he starts having disturbing flashbacks from his childhood. The next day, Anne was worried sick about Michael. She searched all over, and then she goes to the place Michael had visited last night and asks the people there about him, but they start teasing her again. But this time, she doesn't back down and even threatens them, warning that if they so much as look at her or her son Michael, there will be consequences. Then, as soon as she gets into her car, she receives a call from Michael telling her, "Mama, I'm here." When they met, she asked, "Do you like football?" Michael nodded. "Yeah, I do." Anne smiled and told him, "Sean and I talked last night. We want you to consider the University of Tennessee." Michael was surprised. He asked, "That's what you want?" Anne shook her head and said, "This is your life, Michael. You can do whatever you want. It's your decision. But I promise you this, no matter where you play, I'll be there cheering for you at every single game." Later, Michael sat down with the NCAA investigator again, answering her questions. When she asked which school he wanted to attend, Michael replied, "The University of Mississippi." She pressed, "Why?" And Michael said softly, "Because my dad went there, my mom went there, and now I want to go there too." In the end, Michael committed to Mississippi, and on the day he left, Anne couldn't hold back her tears. She sat in the car, eyes glistening, until Michael walked over and said, "Mama, I want to hug you." They embraced tightly, mother and son, in every way that mattered. The story closes with a newspaper article about a 21-year-old athlete, full of potential, who was shot and killed, his life a tragic mirror of what Michael's could have been had Leigh Ann's family not stepped in. Selflessly, she had given him love, a home, and a future. The screen then fills with real photos of Michael, Leigh Ann, and their family. Along with the truth, Michael went on to set incredible records in American football, became known around the world, and to this day remains a beloved part of their family.